Howdy everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a review on The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. But before we can start, make sure to like and subscribe. You know that's important. I know that's important. So come on now. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to do so, okay? Done. Alright, so today's video, I'm going to be talking about the things I liked about this book, the things I didn't like about this book, and everything in between. So this book is actually the first book in the Burning series, and for a first book, it was actually really good. I enjoyed the fast pace of the first chapter because that's what got me hooked. I'm a very picky person when it comes to books, especially fantasy books, as I'm just starting to get more into the groove of things. I love grimdark. This book started off running. Off the gate, started off running, had me hooked. It started off with jam-packed, a badass fire-breathing dragon, and a vengeful queen. So we first meet the Omohai people setting into this already occupied piece of land or island by the natives. That gets them ambushed. This sets into motion a never-ending war between them. Present day, we meet a man named Tau, and he is a lesser, which in this societal structure is on the bottom of its lesser, nobleman, royal, and then gifted, which are women who are able to call upon dragons, which aka their guardians, which is pretty badass, as they have this sort of connection with them, this ability to call them, which is why they're ranked in the top. In present day, we meet him, and he's obviously down in the dumps. He humiliates a nobleman. Tao is challenged into a duel. His father steps in and unfortunately dies in the process. This makes Tao want to seek revenge on those who were involved. And you guys should know, I'm a sucker for revenge stories. I love a good revenge story. The Tao begins to train to become a nobleman so he can legally kill those who killed his father. Under the guidance of Proctor Jadid, he is chosen to be part of the Chosen, which is in between lesser and nobleman. It's like a middle ground because Jadid believes that there's not much of a difference between lesser and nobleman. All right. So now I'm going to get into some things that I liked about the book and some things I didn't like about the book. So we're going to start off on the things I disliked just so we can get to the good part. So a couple of things that I disliked about the book was the pace. The first chapter was very fast paced and I love that. So I expected the rest of the book to be kind of like that. But no, it feels like the first chapter was a sprint and then the rest of it was a walk. It does start to pick up pace towards the end, which is okay. Obviously that's where the climax is at. Not all books or movies are at the peak every single minute, but yeah, it just caught me off guard. I was like, okay, it feels like we should speed it up a little bit. Another thing I didn't like was that there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters and a lot of names. You have to be paying attention to know who's related to who's a love interest of who. There's a lot of who's, you know. And so surprisingly, that's the only thing I didn't like, which is good. I'm usually a hater when it comes to a lot of these things. Other than that, I think those are the only two things. So the pace and too many characters going on, like too many names, and it's all cluttered together. There's a lot of characters I feel like we didn't need, but in this kind of story, you're required to have a lot of characters because it is that kind of story. But now on to the pros. A couple of things I liked about this book. I love the dragons, obviously, love that. I wish there was more dragons, to be honest. I needed more of that. I like the protagonist, Tao. He was a really good protagonist. I was rooting for him the whole time, even though sometimes his ego got to his head and he got a little too cocky for me. I do believe that he was more lucky than anything. I don't think it was that he was skillful. And if you read the book, you understand. The chemistry between Tao and Zuri, which is the protagonist and his love interest, the story between those two was a great in between, under a side plot to the rest of the story. They had like this steamy scene, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I always cringe at things like that, so it was funny to read. Another thing I appreciated about the book is their magic system. What I did like about it was that, yeah, they have like some sort of magical powers, but there's a price to pay if you want to use it. So not just anybody can use it all willy-nilly just for fun or just to mess around. There's a system to it. There's the innovators who can use like their magic to like, oh, I gotta straight, it's like demons, but it's like really fucked up and scary. There's also the gifted women who could summon dragons, but that actually takes a toll on them after a while and they can die. So I did like that that part about the book, that it's not, there's magic, but you can't just use it all willy-nilly. There's rules. I appreciate rules. It sets boundaries. It's great. I also like how the author was very unpredictable. Anybody could die. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be strong. You're gonna get your ass killed if you play around too much. A lot of these characters survive out of luck, not out of skill, which I like because it makes the story more unpredictable. I love that. Unpredictability is it's my chef's kiss. Like, that's another thing I liked about this book. First chapter was amazing. I'm telling you, I was hooked with that first chapter. The ending was pretty good too. It's just the in-between parts. There's some iffy parts. But I enjoyed this book. The overall story was pretty good. I appreciated the camaraderie between Tao and the rest of the Chosen. Relationship he has with Jadid, I feel like, was beneficial to the character as he lost his father figure. And I feel like Jadid was a good father figure that was able to guide him. In the book, they made that point pretty early on that killing the people who killed his father were not going to bring him back. Like a lot of these, in these kind of stories, the main character is so consumed with anger and revenge that they forget to see that at the end it's not going to bring him any comfort. So I'm glad someone said it in the book early on. I'm going to sum it up real quick. So the cons were the pace and too many characters. The pros were the chemistry between the love interests, the camaraderie between him and his friends, and the relationship between Tao and Jadid. And the story overall was pretty great too. I wish I can give you guys more, but for not giving too many spoilers away in a review, I just know that this was a good book. 4 stars, obviously, 4.5 stars. I'm giving it a yeehaw rating right now. You may be thinking, Ro, but 4 stars is a Howdy rating. Yeah, so I pretty much changed my rating system. So 1 and 2 stars is Big Hat No Cattle, 3 to 4 stars is Yeehaw, and 5 stars is Howdy. As you saw during my wrap up, I don't give the Howdy rating out to just like any book. It has to like have, like, everything has to align. Like, I just know a Howdy book when I read a Howdy book. This was close, very close, as you can see, just half a star. Just half a star. Half a star away. It's just that it had too many characters, and the pace. If the pace was great, this would have been a Howdy, honestly. This would have been a Howdy straight up. So, non-canon, unofficially, this would have been a Howdy book. But with my new rating system, this is a yeehaw. So, I think I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I do appreciate you guys. Make sure to check out the book. I read it all in one day. I'm pretty sure you guys can do it too. So I'm gonna be linking down below a book discussion, not by me, because this is the only output I'm giving you guys about this book. It's by a couple of booktubers that I enjoyed to watch. Their links and everything is gonna be down below. Be sure to check out the book. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys Monday. Deuces.